Hey creatives! Happy New Year! Welcome to 2021. So welcome back to my channel. My name is Sammy and this is Sammy Says Create, the channel where I do all sorts of DIY and creative projects and I bring you guys along for the ride. I do sewing, I do crafting, I do a bit of upcycling, I do all sorts of creative projects. So if that is the sort of content that you like, then please do not leave this video without hitting that subscribe button and clicking on that bell. Firstly, apologies if this intro is a little bit long. Feel free to skip. I'll put the start of the video down here. But I just have a couple of little things that I want to say before we jump in to the craft swap. So apologies, I haven't posted in a while. I gave myself a little bit of time off over Christmas and now I am back and ready and raring to go. Secondly, I hit 1,000 subscribers! Woo! Oh my god guys, thank you so much to each and every one of you that have subscribed to my channel. I hit 1,000 subscribers just before Christmas, so that definitely made my Christmas. I will be hosting a giveaway to celebrate hitting that 1,000 subscriber mark. So if you don't already, hop over to Instagram, follow me there, and all the details will be on there in the next couple of weeks. And point number 3, you will notice that I have a slightly different setup going on. I have been working on my own little craft space, which is kind of, you'll see behind me. So we don't have a massive amount of room in my house. I don't particularly have a craft room or a craft space or anything like that. So I have taken a cupboard, a spare cupboard, and I have given it a bit of a revamp. And I now have my own little space that I can work from, and I can close the closet door at the end of the night and I can hide away all that mess. So I think it's quite a genius idea actually. So this video is an exciting collaboration with Ebony from Ebony Devine. I will tag her channel up here. Ebony is fab. She is an Australian YouTuber and her channel focuses on all sorts of kind of creative crafting. She also specialises in bullet journaling, which she is amazing at. So I've used a lot of her kind of tips and tricks and advice on creating my own bullet journal. So if you love that sort of crafty, creative stuff, which I'm guessing that's the reason why you're here, then make sure you pop on over to her channel and subscribe and follow her. So I did the same for her as well. I went shopping, I collected some items together, and I sent these crafty bits over to Ebony so that she could play around and have some fun doing some creative projects. So if you want to see what I bought for her and what she created out of those items, then make sure you click on the link above and go and see that video. I will also pop it in the description box down below. Slight disclaimer, I did film the first part of this video already just before Christmas, but life just got in the way and I wasn't able to upload it, and I thought it would look a little bit silly now with Christmas decorations in the background. So I do kind of know what roughly has been sent to me, but saying that, it has been a while. I haven't actually reopened the box since I first got it, so it'll almost be like seeing things again from fresh. So without further ado, let's do some unboxing and see what Ebony bought for me. Yay! So just to start off with, I've got a lovely little note here from Ebony, which is fab. So she's put, "I'm so excited to be doing this collaboration with you." Me too, Ebony. To say thanks for everything, I thought I'd include a little token of my gratitude, some stickers from my new shop. That is amazing. They will look perfect in my bullet journal. So yep, Ebony does have a shop, on Etsy shop online. So if you want to go and have a look at that shop, again, I will link it in the description. Ooh. Paper, lots of paper. Oh, there's lots of crafty goodies in here. So the first thing on top that I can see are these gorgeous rose petals. Now these are lovely. I love the colours of these. We've got that pink and that yellow along with some plainer white ones. They are absolutely lovely and you can do so much stuff with these. We have got some felt roll, which is quite exciting. I've never seen it in like a little roll like this, but these colours, look at these colours. They're so nice. It kind of reminds me, it's like a really exciting Swiss roll, like a really fruity, flavourful Swiss roll. Yeah, these are absolutely fab. I think felt also is a really good staple for your craft supplies. Oh, we've got some mini craft bottles here. These are gorgeous. These have got little diamante gems in them. So these are a range of different gems. We have got some kind of triangles, we've got some stars. I really love those stars in a really gorgeous little green kind of colour. We have also got just some like little circles and some rectangles. So I love that they are in these little bottles as well, because I feel like I can reuse these bottles once I've used the little gems. So I have got some, oh, I love these are so cute. So I'm a big fan of like succulents and plants, and I have quite a few kind of dotted around, so I absolutely love these. These are little 3D embellishments, which have got some little cacti, that's an individual cactus, isn't it? Yeah, some cactuses. Still sounds really wrong, it just seems really wrong, and some little bell peppers in there, and they are very, very cute. They'd be really nice as like little card toppers or something like that. We have got some glitter paper. You cannot go wrong with some glitter paper. Again, just another staple for the craft supplies, and I really like the silvery colour, and I also really like the way that it's got like bigger glitter and smaller pieces of glitter as well, so it's kind of, it's got a different texture to it. So we have got some of these beads. These are really nice. So these are like little pearls, so little imitation pearls, and I love the colours. Again, this kind of pastel-y purple and the pastel pink along with the white goes really, really nicely. So again, this could be used for some sort of jewellery making. We have got some paper raffia. Oh, I love these colours. A lot of the raffia that I've seen really has only ever been kind of your more natural colours, so this kind of beigey colour, but I've got a really nice variety of different colours in here. And again, I love this like pastel-y purpley pink and this pastel-y blue. They are absolutely gorgeous, so I'm not quite sure what I'll do with them yet, but I just love the variation in colours on that one. We love glitter. Yep, a glitter set. You cannot go wrong with glitter. Like, glitter can be used for anything. I have got a couple of videos on like how to Mod Podge with glitter, which I absolutely love doing. I think it's just fab. So having extra glitter is never a bad thing. So this is like a glitter glue, which will be really handy for stuff like card making. And then we've got some other individual glitters as well. So these ones are kind of more like little sequins, like little stars and stuff, and there's like some little hearts there, so they're a little bit different, so that's really, really nice. And then we've just got some of the more traditional glitter on this side. I have got some I was going to say ribbon and trim then. I have got some fancy trim or some ribbon. I really like this ribbon, this is really nice. So it's kind of like a shoelacy type ribbon in this silver sort of colour, and I do really like this. I wonder if this could go with maybe this little string bookmark that I was thinking of making. Maybe that might work quite nicely, and like tying the beads onto the end or something like that. But otherwise, again, ribbon is really good for, like it says, trimming things. Oh, see, great minds think alike. Ebony has got me a set of craft coasters, and these are a cork, like a cork kind of material, and I did get her some coasters as well. So I bought her some Mod Podge because everyone needs some Mod Podge in their life, and she said she really struggles to get hold of it in Australia. So I sent her over some Mod Podge, and I sent her over some ceramic coasters and stuff as well. So in her video, she has a lot of fun doing some decoupage with that sort of stuff for the first time. So this, I think, again, would be really, really good for that sort of stuff, doing some decoupage and just jazzing these up a little bit. I do also now have a Cricut machine. I got myself this Cricut machine for Christmas with my Christmas money, and I have never been so excited in my entire life, just put it that way. I'm still learning how to use it. I'm still learning to what kind of capacity and what awesome stuff you can do with this Cricut machine, but yeah, that Cricut machine and mixed with maybe that decoupage would be a really, really lovely idea to kind of jazz up these coasters. And last but not least, I have these pom-poms. Again, Ebony, you have got me spot on with these colours. I absolutely love them. A lot of the pom-poms that I've ever really found are just kind of like your quite bright primary colours, like your blue, your yellow, your red. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but you literally cannot go wrong with a little bit of pastel, and I love that. So that's what I love about these pom-poms. So we've got like a pastel yellow colour, we've got white, we've got lilac, we've got pink, and we've got a gorgeous blue in there as well. So we have got lots of gorgeous pastel-y colours to choose from. I think this will be really, really great kind of coming in the run up to spring. So maybe this could be something to do with Maybe I could make some Easter cards or something like that with these. I think that would be awesome. So that is all the items out of my box. Thank you so much, Ebony. I really appreciate it. You've done it so fast. I am going to have a bit of a think. I'm going to try and get my creative juices flowing, and I'm going to work out what sort of items I can create with these crafty projects. So this creative project was more of a upcycle than just a straightforward craft. So I had this rose lemonade glass jar candle that I had lying around that I've not used yet. So I thought the colours of the pink and the yellow would perfectly match this whole kind of rose and lemonade theme. So what I decided to do, just to add a bit of decoration to the outside of the candle, was just to glue these petals to the candle and build them up just to give them a bit of like a 3D flower effect. So this was really, really easy. I stuck the petals on so that the curve was going upwards, and that way I could just kind of build up these petals and slot them in and just glue them into place. So this was really, really easy, really simple, and I think it looked really, really effective. Now obviously if you are working with flames, just a disclaimer, make sure that you are being careful, because flames do cause a bit of a health and safety hazard. This was really quite safe because the candle was in this big glass jar, so I would not recommend doing it with anything like tea lights or anything like that, because we don't want to be setting things on fire. However, I do think this sort of technique would be really good on something like a gin glass or something that's got that kind of rounded shape as well. It would be a really quite nice way of just jazzing some items up. But yeah, I think it was really cool, really quirky, and I think there's loads of sort of things you could do with these. And this was my finished jazzed up candle. So for crafty project number 2, I really wanted to make the most of this gorgeous ribbon that Ebony sent to me. So I really love the glittery silver shininess of this. I really like the texture of this ribbon. So I decided I wanted to turn it into a bookmark. So I got out some of my jewellery supplies. So I just tend to have a lot of random stuff on hand. I measured the length of ribbon that I wanted. So I wanted this piece of ribbon, this bookmark, to kind of slightly hang over the edge. So I cut 3 pieces of the ribbon that were a little bit bigger than the actual book that I'm going to use them for. So I was just using this journal as a bit of a template. So I dug out 2 ribbon clamps in this silver metal just to match the ribbon that I was using, and the idea is I needed to get all 3 of the ends of the ribbon clamped into this clamp. How many times can you say clamp? So yeah, this is really quite difficult to do if you don't have pliers. You do need a pair of pliers really, and it's very, very fiddly, hence this took me quite a few attempts, but I will skip through some of those. So yeah, I needed to clamp this ribbon clamp onto either end of all 3 pieces of ribbon. That will keep it all into place. After lots of finickety fun, I got both my clamps on either end, as you can see here, and all 3 pieces of ribbon are attached on either side to each of them. I then got myself a jump ring and I attached one of these on to either side. There is a little hole, a little gap where you can hook on jump rings to the end of these ribbon clasps. They're really designed for necklaces, so this would be the clasp at the back if you were using it as a necklace. So I attached one to either end, and I chose some little charms that I really liked and just added one with the jump ring so that we'd have some like dangly little charms. And just to finish off, I really wanted to make use of these gorgeous pearl beads that Ebony sent to me because I absolutely just love the colours. I realised they would fit quite nicely in the circle in the middle of this key pendant that I'd used, and they just add a little pop of colour to it. So just with my glue gun, I glued on these pearl beads to the middle, and I think it worked really nicely. And here was my final ribbon bookmark. For my next creative project, I wanted to make use of these fabulous coasters that Ebony got and the glitter. So I grabbed out my Mod Podge, our crafter's best friend, and I simply painted on a coat of the Mod Podge and sprinkled on the glitter. I sprinkled half the glitter on one side and half the sequins on the other side just to jazz it up and put a bit of variation in there. Oh, and this is where I was struggling greatly to get the top off my little glitter pots, and whoopsie daisy, I threw it everywhere, so don't do that. So here I am just sprinkling the glitter on one side and sprinkling the sequins on the other side. The sequins were a little bit more tricky as they were a bit kind of, they had some like sharp edges and bits, so I had to kind of press it down carefully. I then left that to the side to dry, probably for about an hour or so, came back and did another coat. So again, another coat of Mod Podge, another coat of glitter and sequins, again left that to dry, and then finished off with one final coat of Mod Podge just to seal it all together. As you can see here, I also created a silver and yellow coaster to go with the pink one, and I really liked those kind of contrast of colours. So what I next did is I just printed off some vinyl sayings off my Cricut machine, which was super exciting, just on this silver vinyl, and I created the words sip and gulp as I thought they were quite fun and relevant to drinking tea and coffee or champagne or whatever you want to use your coaster for. And I just stuck these to the coasters onto the glittery side. And this was my final coasters. And my final project was the most exciting project. So these gorgeous felt colours I fell in love with, and it just made me think of like sweets and lollipops. So I decided I wanted to create a sweetie or candy garland. Now I knew that my new Cricut machine is supposed to be able to cut felt, so I thought why not give it a try, but obviously these can be hand cut as well. I used the Cricut design space to create some lollipops and some sweeties, and I printed these out in contrasting felts. Not printed them out, I keep saying printing, I mean I cut these out with contrasting felts just to make them really bright and stand out really, really nicely. And this was just so exciting to watch these cut out, it was fab. And this is what I ended up with. So I needed two sides for each regular sweetie, and I needed a orange and a pink side for each lollipop. So firstly, I used my fabric glue and I glued these little swirly bits onto the front of the pink bits for the lollipops to add them some detail in. I also added some details onto the front of the sweets as well. For some really annoying reason it didn't film the next bit, but what I did is I went round the outside of each of the sweets and the lollipops with my fabric glue and just did a really, really thin line and stuck them together, but I left a gap. So I left a gap, and that's where we're going to stuff them with some stuffing. I also used some clamps, as you can kind of see in the bottom of this frame, clamped them together so that the glue would really stick, and I left them to the side to dry probably for about an hour maybe. It might not even actually take that long. But once they were dry, using the little gaps that I had left, I then put a little bit of teddy bear stuffing into the middle of them just to kind of pack them out and give them a bit of a 3D effect. I then sealed these gaps up again with a bit of fabric glue, and again just used those clamps to really hold it into place as the glue was drying. So I did this for all of the sweets. Using a really nice contrasting thread, I then went on to do a blanket stitch around the outside of each of these sweets. You don't have to do this additional step, I just thought it would really add to the kind of handmade effect, and I think it works really nicely with felt. Right, sorry this footage is a bit rubbish, it was on my phone and it was just trying to autofocus. This is just really quickly how to do a blanket stitch. So you pop the needle through like a normal stitch, but before you tighten it, you put the needle back through the loop and just pull it upwards like that, and you just carry on all the way around your item doing that same stitch, and it will give you this blanket stitch. I then cut and glued some little tabs on the back of each of the sweets, just made out of the scrap felt, just so that I had somewhere to hang the string through. Now they all have little tabs so we can hang them. It is just onto the final construction of the garland. So I have got some white yarn here. It was quite a thick yarn, but you could use whatever string you wanted. I also have a yarn needle, which is just a really big, thicker version of a needle. So I cut enough string to the length that I wanted it, and I threaded the needle onto the end of the yarn. I wanted to also use the pom-poms that Ebony sent me because I think the gorgeous bright colours of the pom-poms would work really, really well with these sweeties. And then all I did was thread the needle through the sweets and the pom-poms, and I put them in whatever order I wanted, whatever order I thought looked really nice, and that was just it. It was dead easy, and that's how I created my garland. Massive thank you again to Ebony for working with me on this craft swap. It's been so much fun. All the details for her channel and her contacts is downstairs. All the details for her socials and her channel are in the description box down below. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please do make sure you hit that subscribe if you have, and I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, keep creative. Bye. What is the word? What am I trying to say? No, that's what I didn't want to say.